Everybody, it's Dig at Starnes here, and today I have a really cool place to show you. It is the Earthmoving Legacy Center in Elkader, Iowa. I've been wanting to come to this place for a while. It's very little known, and I saw some stuff about it online, and you may have seen it in one of Aaron Witt's videos, and immediately I knew that I had to take my next rain day and go check this place out. Out front, there's some non-running machines, but everything I'm about to show you inside, besides two machines, not only run, but are fully functional. This is the entrance moving in here, and I learned a lot about the Best company, which was actually competing with Holt in the early beginning. You don't hear a lot about Best. Everybody knows that Holt turned into Caterpillar, but I gained a ton of knowledge just as soon as I walked in, and this display is absolutely world class. It's hard to describe how immaculate this entire display is. That machine that you're seeing right in front of me not only runs, but is fully operational. They do full restorations, they get stuff back running, and it's the most immaculate display of old equipment I've ever seen. Now, Best was known for their smaller crawler tractors early on, and they were actually competing with Holt. And if you pause and read what I'm about to show you here, it goes over some of that. So it's important to note all of this started out for agriculture. Tracks were not developed for construction. It was a completely unthought of revolution and purpose at this time. So what happened is this goes on to explain there was a lawsuit, and then Holt bought 2/3 of the Best company. So 1901, Theodore Roosevelt. First successful flight. Right after we learn to fly, we say, you know what? Let's put some shit on tracks. I mean, America. It's the original patent right there for the Holt traction engine. Then you just got steam versus gasoline power. This was the turn of the century, and they were trying to figure out what is best. So you can read this for yourself, pause as you like. The beginning of this video starts out a little bit slow with some narration, and then as we go on, it's going to get very upbeat, and there's going to be a lot more footage of some fully restored stuff. But this just gives you a better idea of the story and gives you some background as we go along if you have no information on this. Track tractors before radio or movies. Can I get a hell yeah? Here's an example of just how popular these large D8 size machines were back in the day. So this one is a 75 diesel. It was produced from 1933 to 1935. There was about 1,100 of them produced. Same thing as you go down the line with the 70 and the 65. Now, you'll notice this one's a 70, but it doesn't say diesel. So this one is a gas tractor. That one over there, it is a diesel. And you know it's a diesel because it says it in the name, Diesel 75. This is a 70. Then there's going to be a Diesel 70. So this is when you still had the choice between gas and diesel. And this was in the pre-war era, right before World War II, and you see these produced in smaller numbers. They're in the hundreds. Nothing's really getting up into the thousands as far as production numbers go until this newest series of tractor comes out, and that is the RD series. That is when we start seeing the D8, synonymous with dozers, D6, D8, whatever. But It was more to reference the tractor. Before they ever became bulldozers, that was the tractor size. And as you'll see, we go from just hundreds of production models in the pre-war era to where right here, the RD8, there were 15,000 produced. So the production numbers jump up significantly, going from the numbered series, both the diesel and gas. They really start to make a name and gain popularity, and leading up to World War II, these machines got produced like crazy and then had an even larger jump post-war. We skipped forward a little bit on that one, but this is a Caterpillar 10. This is back when they started using the name Caterpillar, and then you have this pull behind grader. And this is when Caterpillar actually started producing some of their own attachments, because early on, they did not have a line or as much of a line as Caterpillar attachments. It was mostly aftermarket companies that would either convert your Caterpillar machine or had add on kits to your intended task. So this is long before Caterpillar got into the implement business or into a dedicated purpose machine like we have today. Here's a prime example. This is a Caterpillar tractor with a add-on kit to make it a grader that worked with your Caterpillar tractor. My opinion is it was just so early on they were focused on making the tractors that they left a lot of the other stuff to open market. Here is where we see the first bulldozers as we know them today. Again, it was the tractor was sold. Caterpillar did not initially offer a lot of dozer blade attachments. You would get that from the same dealership, but a lot of them were not made by Caterpillar. Obviously, in the early days, it was all cable driven. So not only did you have three different clutches, two brakes, a gear selector, and a throttle to worry about, but you also needed to pay attention to everything going on around you and a winch cable to try and somewhat precisely run your attachment. Yeah, this is back when operators are men. None of you soft hand GPS operators. Back here, this is a very early example of the add-on dozer kit for this tractor. So they used to have a hand crank start before the pony. So this one has a pony start, and in place of the hand crank, you will find that hydraulic pump being driven directly off the engine. This room was one of my favorites. It's the D2 and D4 room. And I like this because everything in here runs. You can see the pig mats on the floor. You walk into this shed and it smells like oil and diesel. Just all that going to your senses. I mean, look at that. It's sitting there leaking. Why is it leaking? It's non-restored. It's in pretty much original condition, and it runs and works just like it did, I don't know, 70, 80 years ago. Now we're getting into the overview. This is the all waiting to be restored and just stuff that's in the collection. Some of it runs, some of it doesn't. Some of it will eventually find its way to the showroom. Some of it will not. But here's a quick flyover, and then we're going to get into some other clips talking about the stuff that you're seeing here. So listen to the music on this, take it in for a minute, and then we're going to have some more informational and close up stuff. as we get to the end of this here, guys, if you enjoy this stuff, please like, follow. The link to my TikTok and Instagram are also going to be in the bottom here. And if you check out my YouTube shorts, you are going to find footage, a lot of short, very informational clips that are not included in this video. I tried to keep the content as separate as possible. That way this video would be stuff that you haven't seen, and the short clips were going to be some kind of bite-sized information if you're not into watching the long format stuff. But if you guys would want to leave some constructive criticism, tell me what you would want to see next time, because I will be making another trip back. And you guys liking, leaving a comment, subscribing, that is what helps fund me traveling up there, getting the hotel room, and taking the time to put all this stuff together to show you guys. There's not been a lot of coverage on this place, and it was super cool. I met a lot of the people up there, and this will not be my last trip. Where's Mr. Squanch at here? We got a RD4 and a RD6. This one's pony start, and all these machines sitting here, they all run. This one's super cool. Check out his videos. I will see if I can tag him in this, but if you want to hear one of these things run under load, it is just the most beautiful sound. Let's see if there's a data plate on here. So under load, this thing is designed to run at 650 RPM, I believe. That's just going over the fuel. He would know this machine much better. If you want to see an in-depth, definitely go check out his stuff. He's the only reason I want an RD6, just because of the sound of that 3-cylinder under load. Just pop, 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 putting right along. It is extremely cool. And some of you probably recognize this behemoth of an early cat scraper right here. Might have seen this on Aaron Witt's YouTube of him operating this thing. Super cool. This thing is massive. These tires have got to be almost 8 feet tall. Incredible. I guess this is before they figured out you could take the front wheels off and put some hydraulic cylinders back here to steer it, and you'd be just fine, because half the time the wheels are up off the ground anyway. Super cool. I mean, there is more here than I have time to show you guys in a day. It is something else. This D9G is very aptly nicknamed Earthquake. This thing is massive. Caterpillar custom product. So it's a D9G LGP. I mean, that's some pads right there. So what this is used for is deep ripping. I would imagine that this machine probably came from somewhere on the West Coast, possibly California. Reason why I say that is they practice deep tilling operations, especially for orchards, because over time you have to rip down through the hard pan and bring nutrients back to the top of the soil. So they'll go in, they'll clear an orchard, and they will take a dozer such as this, and even today they use D9s and D10s with a single shank ripper just like this, and it's designed to bring that subsoil and break up that hard pan and bring it to the surface. So with something like this, you're going to be ripping, probably almost 6 feet deep, if I had to guess. Now, the other possibility is it could have an adapter on here for a tile plow. It could plow in tile, but without seeing the rest of it, I'm not 100% sure. But that is what I have seen this exact setup used for, and it is for ripping up orchard ground. And next to it right here, we got a push cat. So this would have been to push scrapers. It's got a pusher plate on the rear and a pusher plate on the front. So you would have two of these D9s push loading a scraper.